Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King 3, and today I'm gonna be giving you part 14 of What If Naruto Awakened the Yellow Rinnegan after his exile. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and down in the description I'm gonna be leaving a link to the final episode of What If Naruto was blamed and it changed him. Yes guys, I did the final episode over there. I do hope that you guys enjoy, and as usual don't be sad because you already know new what ifs are coming up soon for you guys to enjoy. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Making family. And thank you for all of your help and support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, as Naruto stood in front of the Taki ninjas. We had then skipped to Fu. Fu had had a terrible life in Taki. She went through a lot, yes, a lot. Amount of torturing and forced training that she went through. It turned her into something rather emotionless, but she still felt pain, as she had a choker around her neck. Further, when she disobeyed, they electrocuted her. Something that was so vastly powerful, it shocked her to the very core. The ceiling that was in it was quite compact. Not even the powerful Tsunade could she be able to break free. She landed as she saw the Akatsuki. She had been warned about them, and she was told if any destruction came to the village because of her, she would be punished and persecuted forever. Single house buildings that get destroyed. So she fought with everything she got. But it just wasn't enough with the blonde Akatsuki member, because everything he threw at him, he just simply shrugged it off like it was nothing. Naruto made his way toward the tree in the center of the village though. There was just something about it. The moment he touched the tree, there was an explosion of power. As everyone was blown away, even Konan was blown back in the sky. Naruto stood there, his entire body humming with power. As he got a vision, a strange monster ripping through the lands, drinking the ocean, splitting the earth. A beast with mighty tails. Joby, he mouthed the words. Naruto didn't know what this tree was, but he could tell that this tree was supposed to be a part of that monster. But exactly what was that? He was confused, he had no idea. But the tree was so potent with life energy and chakra, as Naruto drained it completely. Shibuki and the others tried to stop him, but Naruto quickly incapacitated them, as he told Konan to take Fu and go. So with that, she flew out of the village, as Naruto disrupted their genjutsu barrier, so they could see this coming. Going through hand sign, Naruto called it. The ninjas. Most of them started to pee their pants, as most of them dropped to their knees in fear, trying to cancel out this genjutsu, but to realize it was not. A meteor was hurling from the sky. In Konoha not being too far away from Taki, they could see it as well. Tsunade had a bad feeling because she just feel like Naruto was responsible for this. Everyone was shocked to their very core as the meteor dropped on Taki, destroying the entire village. Konan got scared when she saw that. Not that she was scared of Naruto. Well, his power seemed so godly, but she asked him if he would ever betray them. He simply shrugged off her questions, but she was serious, as he told her no. With that, the both of them made their way back. The days that passed, some ninjas had survived, tunneling under the earth towards the tunnels under Taki. But there wasn't enough ninjas to rebuild out the village. The rumors were spread upon who did it. Naruto Uzumaki's name started to be spread far and wide. It was then that the Raikage and the Tsuchikage realized something after hearing that his boy was a Uzumaki, and Taki was one of the village that helped them destroy the Uzumakis, and Kiri was one of them as well. And it was the same blonde that wiped out Kiri. As they saw the pattern, this boy was coming after the people who destroyed the Uzumakis. This was bad. very bad. The council members, elders of Konoha started to tremble as well, hearing the name that destroyed the village, and that meteor that he literally pulled from the sky, powers of a god. They no regret kicking that boy from the village, things was bad. But for one person in particular, Danzo, he had a plan. He had a plan for everything, as always. But he didn't know that his plan would cause him so much grief in the end. Meanwhile, Fu woke up. She was surprised that she was still alive, as she saw him, the one that took her away. The one that, how was she still alive? Didn't he take the Biju from her? She could no longer feel Nagini's power, so how was she still alive? As Naruto told her that he saved her. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. You guys can switch across the place to take it for yourself. So what is to begin this new episode? We begin this episode under Konoha, where all the dark businesses take place. Where one man sitting in his chair. One man who was at the moment thinking what to do with the current situation. He was certain for a fact though that no one knew about his, well, involvement in all of this. Because he was sure that he was the one that tipped the scales and tipped the balance. But still, his involvement had to remain a secret for now. This man was none other than Danzo, watching the recording of his root operatives' surveillance about Taki. As the man watched everything on a screen in front of him, the meteor was large. Given that Taki was mostly underground, half of it was buried underground. But the thing was so wide, no one could literally move that or destroy it. To believe that one boy was so capable of doing something like that, Danzo frowned. He has allowed this boy to roam free long enough. He will use the Kodomasukami to get this boy under his control. He still doesn't know how the boy possessed such power, but the genjutsu of this eye cannot fail. And once he has that boy under his control, along with the Kyuubi with him, he will take over Konoha without a second thought. There will be no one standing in his way. One boy that can bring terror to the world. Yes, with Naruto under his control, he would take over every single nation by just promising them one thing, a meteor from the sky if they didn't comply. And he will make an example, of course, by using Naruto to crush a few smaller villages and show them that they should hand over whatever he wants. As Danzo could see it all fall into place now, with Konoha being on the top, him as a Hokage. Harrison might have delayed his chance to become Hokage. That woman might have delayed his chance as well. But with this boy, his salvation shall come through. Yes, there will be no stopping him once he has this boy under his control. He waved his hand as a root operative line beside him. How is the investigation going? Sir, they have trailed him back towards one of the many lands around here. They are currently searching at the moment. Tell them to hurry and dispatch more troops, said Danzo. He had a feeling that if he didn't move fast, everything was going to slip from his grasp. Meanwhile, in a dark cave, a man was leaning up against a wall. His orange mask with one single eye hole hiding his face from the world. Slowly reaching up, he removed the mask and placed it down. The place was so dark you couldn't even see his face. Suddenly, the ground shifted as Black Zetsu emerged. A bit of detour was taken. Kisame and Itachi didn't go to Kumo. So, he's gonna fight his brother, huh? Yes. It's only a matter of minutes before him and Sasuke collide. What are you gonna do about it? Nothing. Itachi was always a wild card. But with Sasuke, once I revealed to him the truth about the village he once called home, he will be like putty in my hands, which I can mold to however I want. It's only a matter of time now. But what about Naruto? He's still going strong. It won't be easy to take him down. Yes, I know. Not even you can hold him at the moment, can you? No, said Black Zetsu. He would surely fight off my compulsion. The man simply looked around, as he seemed to be in deep thought for a moment. And then there's that other one, Naruto Uzumaki. He's always been a wild card in this. I never wanted Nagato to bring him part of the organization, but now he's in here. And it seems like Konan has taken a liking to him. They've been going on a lot of missions recently. Not to mention she's been at Uzu for some time now. And that boy, he did not allow that Jinjuki to die. He took her back to his village. Well, you haven't revealed yourself to him yet. He is still none the wiser. So you can use that as your advantage, said Black Zetsu. Yes, but his eyes. They can prove far valuable more than Nagato's eyes. You've already seen for yourself, Zetsu, what those eyes of his can do. I don't even believe Nagato can do that. It would be better if I go for his instead. That will be much more difficult, said Black Zetsu. I myself can't go nowhere near him without him knowing that I'm there. I am even afraid to place my saplings on him. There's just something strange about him. Something I just don't know, said Black Zetsu. Those eyes of his are a mystery to all of us, you know. Yes, I do. But it's either or either. Either I take Nagato's Rinnegan, or I take his. One of them has to die. But for now, I'll deal with that once A-Tails has been captured. Now, for the little battle. Let's go see how it will progress, shall we? I'm sure that Itachi won't kill his little brother, so I have to keep myself hidden at all costs. If he knows I'm there, he will suspect too much. Meanwhile, at the village hidden in leaves, Tsunade was currently sitting on her table. The council members are now sweating at Naruto's request. When they last spoke about it, they were reluctant on giving Naruto anything, especially Danzo. But the last meeting the man did not show up. Tsunade found that rather strange. He was always the first one there, him and those blasted two elders. He had informed her hours later that he had been working on something, and he would show up at the next meeting. Tsunade was always aware of that man. She knew how dangerous he was, left alone to his own mechanics. Now the entire village was worrying about Naruto and his requests, while only the council knew about that. He wanted all finances that belongs to Minato and Kushina. It is his birthright, but to pass over everything to him would be like a weakness for the village, showing that they take demands from other threats that were outside of the village. Tsunade mind run on something. Naruto has shown capable of wiping out entire villages. As she wouldn't believe that he would do that. It doesn't matter how much he's changed, he would never end her life and others. He would never do something like that. She would bet her life on that. She hoped she was right, because if she was wrong, this would be bad. Very, very bad. Meanwhile at Uzu, Fu was furious, as the man in front of her was the one that took her and stripped Nagbi away from her. But now he told that he saved her, so he was just gonna use her like the others once again. And now she was without the power of Nagbi. She wasn't as strong as before. Why did you save me? She said that her fists were clenched as she was standing a few feet away from him. All of a sudden his face turned dark, surprising Fu by the smile just vanishing, showing a completely dark look in his eyes. I took you from your village, he said, as he stepped closer. I mercilessly beated you and dragged you and extracted the Nanabe away from you, and I kept you alive. For what reason you don't know. You're angry, aren't you? Fu, clench her fist even more. Are you just gonna stand there, or are you gonna take your shot at finishing me? Come on, I hurt you so badly. Take your revenge, said Naruto as he spread his arms. Fu lost it. She moved forward as she smashed her fist right into his nose once again, knocking him back towards the dresser that was in there. As she moved again, another solid fist to the face. Fu started taking out all her anger on him as she beat him without mercy. To her surprise though, he wasn't fighting back. What are you doing? She said. She stopped to catch her breath. Fight back! Fight back! She shouted as she wanted her opponent to fight back. His face was now bloody. That was a scene that Konan came in on. Konan's eyes turned murderous as she looked towards Fu, seeing the blood dripping from Naruto's face, his face all swollen. Papers quickly extending from her body, only for Naruto to raise a single hand, stopping her. No, he said. Let her be. Konan was confused. Wonder if Naruto was going mad or something. As Fu turned back, looking down as she pulled back her fist. I'm sorry. As those words left his lips, Fu stood there confused. What? I'm sorry, he said, clearing his throat as he wiped away the blood that came from his mouth. You would have never trusted me unless I showed you, said Naruto. What are you talking about, said Fu, still on her guard, not knowing what was going on. Upon saving you, I end up seeing your life. Seeing my life? She said, confused. I know it seemed like personal invasion, but it's just something that happens upon my chakra entering your body. Fu looked at him confused once again. She still had no idea how she was exactly alive. I saw what you've been through, Fu. And I'm sorry for what I did to you. You've went through so much, it's hard for you to even consider trusting anyone ever again. That is why I had to show you. I had to show you I mean you no harm. With that, he slowly got to his feet, surprising Fu. The reason I brought you here is because I understand. Even though I was a Jinchuriki as well, it wasn't so hard on me. So I want you to know that you being here now, no one would ever hurt you again. Why? Fu said, confused. She still doesn't understand. Why are you helping me, she asks. Because I know what it's like to be a Jinchuriki. I've seen the things you went through. And Naruto smiled at her. Despite the blood running down his face, the smile was genuine and sweet. I promise you, Fu, I won't allow anyone else to hurt you. I promise. Never having, well, much interaction in her life, or having love or anything, she was always scorned and hated to be the monster. But here she stood in front of a former Jinchuriki from what she's gotten from him, and he was going to protect her? As she still didn't know. Are you serious, she asks? Or is this just another trick for you to use me? Well, I hurt you by dragging you to the Akatsuki. You can take out all of your anger on me until you're satisfied, said Naruto. Go ahead. I won't stop you. Fu raised her fist as Konan looked towards the girl. She was really gonna hit him again after all of that. As Fu marched forward, as Naruto closed his eyes to receive the punishment without hesitation, she pulled back her fist and launched it, but it barely tapped Naruto right in his chest. As Naruto opened his eyes and looked down at her eyes were filled with water, tears gathering up. Do you not see me as a monster, she asked. Of course not. You're just a sweet, kind, beautiful girl. And anyone that tell you otherwise, they are the monster, said Naruto, and they don't deserve you at all. Tears started to leak from her eyes. Fu saw many people did this before, as it seemed to bring them happiness. So she launched herself forward, as Naruto caught her, as she hugged him tight. She cried and wept right into his hug. She has never had a lot of interaction with people. The only interaction she saw was when she went out on mission with their teams and seen people like normal couples, having dinners, hugging, even kissing. She knew what the concept of them were, but she never experienced anything like that before. But being here in his warm hold, she felt comfortable and warmed as he held on to her. Fu was confused. Why would one person go out of their way to do all of this? Was he really such a wonderful person? As she could feel his chakra, it felt so calm and soothing around her. But there was something else. She tried to block that out at the moment. Everyone had their dark side. But at the moment his chakra was just so calm and fluent, and so warm, as she held on to him. Just like Gaara from the extraction, Fu was still exhausted. The adrenaline was now gone, so she ended up falling asleep right in his arms. Picking her up bridle stand, Naruto made his way towards the bed and set her down. All the while, Konan was there watching him. Finally placing Fu down, Konan came over with a wet cloth and gave it to him. Thanking her, Naruto wiped the blood off his face, as his swollen face is already healed up, and the cuts and bruises are already gone. She really hit hard. You were gonna really take all of her assault, just to prove to her that you were different from the others. Yes, Naruto, that was the only way for someone who doesn't fully know how to trust. That is still rather stupid. That could have gone completely different without having her wailing on you that hard. Naruto's smile, a rather infectious smile, as he looked towards Konan. Why are you looking at me like that? Well, I'm just glad. About what? To know how much you care about me, said Naruto. And who said I did? Asked Konan. Wait, you don't, said Naruto. Oh, sorry, he said. I thought that you, as he lowered his head. Konan was confused. Well, I don't mean I hate, Naruto lifted up his head with a smile on his face. Huh, you fell for that, huh? Konan blinked as he realized that he was messing with her. Seeing the look on her face, Naruto started to laugh. He then got serious. So, it's almost time, he said to her. Time? Well, the whole big grand plan, said Naruto. I guess you're right, she said. You remember when you asked me if I would ever betray you? Yes, said Konan. Why did you ask me that question really, said Naruto. Were you worried, he asked. Konan released a sigh. Both you and Nagato have extraordinary eyes. Powers that many people in this world wish they had. Two powerful beings never usually work on the same team. They're always against each other, and ideals don't continue on for too long. So you think our power will get to our head, said Naruto. Exactly, said Konan. Said Naruto as he stepped forward. She followed behind him as he made his way towards the balcony, looking out towards the village. Tell you the truth, the only thing I want is to rest. Konan looked at him confused. Rest? I've been through so much. I did so much already. Killed so many people. When I was younger, I would be literally horrified that I was able to do these things without batter in the eye. But I guess this world really changed you, huh? But I can't afford to rest yet. There are things I need to do which I really want to hurry up and be over with. And then after that, I can become the Uzukage as my people want. I can rule them and bring peace to the Uzumakis that they deserve for a very long time now. And then I'll rest. That is all I want to do. Maybe have a few kids. With a wonderful wife, he said. As he was looking towards her, he was just looking out. So he didn't see when her face color changed, just for the slightest. Her cheeks becoming a slight red. So yeah, that's all that I want. To tell you the truth. After all of this, I don't want to be a part of the Akatsuki anymore. If the world truly does change because of what Nagato is gonna do, then let it be. But for the Akatsuki, I don't want to be a part of the organization anymore. So you're gonna leave, she said. Well, yeah, said Naruto. But you know where I am. And you're always invited here no matter what, Konan. But for the rest of it, I'm just over it all. I just needed to hurry up and end. But there's a sinking feeling in the back of my mind that it just won't end that peacefully. After all, the one that started the trouble always end up in chaos afterwards. But you didn't start this, she said. Yeah, but I rallied it up, he said to her. Don't think that I'm afraid of anything, he said to her. It's not fear. It's just, I'm worried. You know, I never actually talked to anyone else about what happened. Kaya, Kaido, and Melissa. They all knew that I lost people in the past. But I never actually talked to anyone about it. To the degree that I'm talking to you now, said Naruto. And that's the only thing I'm afraid of. To lose people who are precious to me. It might sound silly, given the amount of people I've slaughtered, and things I possess and things I can do. But it's just stupid, he said. No, it's not, she said. Turning towards her, he looked at her. I understand what you mean. Even with the powers that you possess, it's different. to lose someone that precious to you. So I understand what you mean. Don't think I don't. Naruto smiled. Well, I'm glad you do, he said, as he looked back towards the village. Hey, Naruto. Yes, said Naruto. Thanks. Huh? For what, Naruto asked. Just thanks, she said. I'll be taking my leave now. I'll come back soon, okay? I told you, you're always welcome, said Naruto. She bid him farewell as she spread her wings. Flying off the balcony, Naruto watched her go. As Konan glanced back towards the village as she left, it was becoming worse now. Her feelings were being magnified just standing near him. She could definitely tell that she's feeling something deep for him. This was no longer a pity, crush or anything. It was something deep, just being around him. As she felt her entire body shiver for a moment. What was wrong with her? Things between them. If she was to... No, it would never work, right? Feeling something, she turned her head as a kunai passed her face. The kunai wasn't aimed to hurt her in any way, she noticed. Flying down towards one of the many islands, as she saw exactly who it was. Touching down. What are you doing here? She asked. So I'm not wrong, he said, as the man was leaning up against a tree. Konan, it really is you. You know, that was quite rude of you, to see your old sensei and not even say hi. Well, hello Jiraiya sensei, she said. No, that's much more like it. So, how have you been, he asked. Is this really what you came here for? Small talk, she asked him. Well, I would like to ask you what Akatsuki is doing. What the hell Naruto is thinking. And where is Yaiko and Nagato? But I doubt you'll give me those answers, am I right? That is correct. I'm not looking to take you in or fight you at the moment. I don't want any harm to come to you, despite what you guys probably think of me now. I still see you three as my little students that I met back then. But you know what you're doing is bad, right? Something that you don't understand. It doesn't mean that it's bad, Jiraiya sensei. Were you waiting for me here? Or you were perhaps hoping to see Naruto? So you and the kid, good friend. Konan said nothing. Was it Nagato that taught him what to use the Rinnegan? Once again, Konan said nothing. Come on, Konan, are you giving the cold shoulder or something? Jiraiya asked. Sensei, do not waste my time. I have more important business to deal with. I know where Nagato is, the hidden rain. Konan looked at him firmly. Do not come there, she said. She knew Jiraiya had a spine at work, and there was no, well, sense of lying about it because the man would still investigate. And she knew how it would end. Nagato was different from Naruto. Naruto would spare Jiraiya's life. He would beat him, but he would spare him. But Nagato would probably kill the man. Huh. If I come there, he's gonna kill me, right? I'm guessing he's a lot different from Naruto when it comes to ideals. Although the kid really kicked the crap out of me. He's gotten powerful. After what I saw at Taki, there's no mistaking it. He's like some kind of demigod or something, able to pull a meteor from the sky. That's quite surprising. You've been around him for some while now. Do you believe you will ever do something like that to Konoha? Sensei, if you do not wish to die, stay where you are, said Konan as she started to walk away. So that's a no one going to the hidden rain, right? This has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with me. I know that the Akatsuki's are planning something dangerous, and it's gonna affect the entire world. Konan, Naruto might be strong, the members might be powerful, but if the entire world came up against you guys, don't think you're gonna step out of it alive. Well, we might surprise you, said Konan. But Sensei, this is the last warning. He doesn't wish to hurt you, but if you overplay your hand, you will die. Who? Naruto or Nagato? Both. With that, her wings extended as she flew off before Jiraiya could say anything else. Jiraiya stood there, That was rather stupid of him not to capture her. After all, she was a member of the Akatsuki. Her steelage enjoyed his butt. He didn't have it in him to fight her, and he didn't want to fight her. He looked towards where Uzo was, a few islands apart. He wasn't going to go over there at the moment. He would just leave it be. For now, as Naruto will come back to the village, demanding what belongs to him. That is where Jiraiya will see what Naruto's true intentions are. But for now, he will keep his distance, just watching. What Jiraiya did not notice though, was several ninjas moving by, all of them in black. As they were moving on different islands making their way, they were fast, incredibly so, as they found out the location of where he went. Yes, Danzo was pushing his luck. His man had found out where Naruto was. There was 5 of them, one of them giving the charge, as he motioned for them to move ahead. It was dark, as they dashed through bush from bushes. All of them stopped as the man gave the alert. He focused at the front, as he scanned the island with his eyes. He then raised his hand. Bugs. Bugs came from his sleeve as they started to lower themselves. They lowered themselves down in the island before making their way. He then opened his eyes slowly. Seals. This place is covered with seals. The moment we touch down on this island, they will be notified. It doesn't matter, we found them. As he looked over the place, he was sure. The place was just a big haze. There was a ceiling genjutsu blocking the island view. But he was sure this was where the trail ended, because they were inside, not to mention the seals at the front. It was as Danzo-sama feared. The boy was trying to bring back the Uzumaki clan, but to how far has he gotten? Sir, what do? We go back to inform the Lord. Let's move. With that, they were gone once again. Time skip. Danzo was currently sitting down by himself, going over the information that he just gotten. It was quite surprising to find out that this boy was trying to bring back the Uzumaki clan. At the moment though, Danzo fear going up against him. Well, his roots, while powerful, he doubted they could handle the power that this boy possessed. After all, he had heard the report that the boy was able to take out the Konoha team consisted of Kakashi Hatake and Might Guy. Even though they weren't trying to kill him, they still could not hold him back, not to mention he brutally beat Jiraiya. Although Jiraiya was not trying to kill him, Danzo was sure of that, but Jiraiya wouldn't just stand up and take a beating like that. So for that reason alone, Danzo did not attack right away. He had another plan though, something that would assure him victory. Weaken the boy resolve, and then he will swoop in and take his prize. As he watched his envoys made their way off, it was time to alert the world where Naruto Uzumaki was hiding at the moment. Yes, it was time for the world to find out that the Uzumakis are trying to rise once again. Meanwhile that was going on, there was a fearsome battle taking place. 2 brothers destined to fight, one stronger than the other. But for his younger brother's sake, he would not push it to that limit. The place was nothing but ruins. Chaos could be seen all around. Black flames littered the area. Rain poured down hard from the sky. Lightning cackling dangerously ahead. The battle seemed to have been great. To believe that only 2 ninjas were fighting, that was astonishing. 2 boys, 2 men, destroyed this entire place. At the moment though, one of them were on the ground, shaking in fear, as he watched his older brother that he knew all his life make his way towards him, take his eye. At the moment he had nothing. He lost the power of the curse mark. He had nothing left. His chakra was finished. He couldn't fight back. He was going to die. He knew that. He just couldn't beat his brother, even after so much training, even after neglecting everyone to reach his point. He was still gonna lose. To Sasuke's surprise though, Itachi smiled. He watches Itachi poke him on the forehead. Memories rush back to him of when they were younger. as Itachi's hand trailed down his face, blood coming down, before his head smacked against the wall, as his body simply fell over. Sasuke collapsed down on the ground even more, as the rain was barking down on them. Sasuke stood there, unmoving, before his body simply dropped to the side, as he fell unconscious. The moment he did, a swirling vortex appeared, before looking down. I always knew that you would betray me, Itachi. Go against my orders to face off against your brother. But at the moment it doesn't matter because now, you just given me a clean slate. It seems like you don't understand a single thing. Because you just given me someone to use as my puppet. And I must thank you on that. With that, a swirling vortex appeared as he sucked away the two of them, and they were gone. Time skip. The land of Miss Nakuni had many lands around. Probably 50 to 60 lands. Some of them small, some of them large, some of them titanic. As Naruto was currently on his search, Fu had woken up and they spoke to each other again. She was not used to certain things, but she was getting accustomed. Naruto was sure with some time she could get used to things. At the moment Naruto was making his way through one of the many lands around Mizunokuni to search for the Uzumakis. He was going to go into the center of the village to seek out the Uzumaki's chakra, when he saw some kids running. They were looking around frantically as they seemed to be looking for someone. For one of them rushed up to him. "Hey, mister," a little girl said. Naruto looked towards her. Can you help me? Please," she begged. Confused, Naruto nodded as she grabbed his hand. She pulled him along with her as the other boys rushed off as well. They brought Naruto towards near the edge of the village, where there was a small cliff over to the side. "What's going on?" "It's our new friend. He's over there." Making his way, Naruto see what they were talking about, as Naruto saw a boy hanging from a tree limb. He had dull green hair with purple eyes. "Help me," he shouted, as Naruto saw the thing cracking before it broke. The girl that brought Naruto over here screamed. Raising his hand, "Universal pull," said Naruto. The boy stopped mid-air before he was pulled back up. As Naruto held on to him, he was shaking in fear. He thought that he was going to die. Looking up, "What did you do?" he asked. "I saved you, of course," said Naruto. The boy seemed to be grateful as he hugged Naruto. Thank you," he said, as he seemed to be so grateful. Naruto smiled. "Don't worry, it's my pleasure. It's not safe to play around here. You guys shouldn't be around here," said Naruto. The moment he said that, he turned. Several people landed beside him. But these weren't the enemy, as Naruto smiled. It was the Uzumakis that were able to take gear, that still had their active ninja senses, after having them dormant for so long, not doing anything. "Sir, we searched the other two lands. We found 3 others. They have graciously accepted our request to come back with us." "That's good," said Naruto. "Continue the search," he said. They nodded as they flashed away as they came. "Well, I'll be going now," said Naruto. "You shouldn't play around here. Go play somewhere safe." The boy nodded. "Come on, Yukimaru," one of the girls said. Suddenly a voice cried out, "Yukimaru!" This voice was much older than the girl before. It made Naruto turn around as he saw a woman, purple hair, dark eyes. She had cuts and bruises all over her body. "Guren!" Yukimaru rushed over as fast as possible, only for the woman to collapse down, as her weight was too heavy as Yukimaru fell as well. He quickly rolled her over. "Guren! Guren!" he cried. "What happened to you?" He shook her to wake up, as she was in pain as she winced. Naruto made his way over, looking at her keenly. Can you help her?" "Are you a ninja?" the boy asked, as he really didn't want Guren to die. Naruto simply gave him a smile, as he placed his hand down on the woman's forehead. It only took a few seconds for Guren to snap her eyes open, reeling back from him as she scanned around. Yukimaru crashed right into her with a big tight hug. Yukimaru. Guren, you okay? Thank you again, mister. You saved both of us, said Yukimaru. Who are you? Said Guren. Guren, he's the one that just saved you. What happened to you? Asked Yukimaru. I got into a bit of trouble. Don't worry, I'm fine. A bit of trouble. You were seriously hurt, said Naruto. It's none of your business, Guren said. Guren, he just saved your life. Guren got to her feet. She looked Naruto up and down. She paused. You, she said. Me? I know you. You're Naruto Uzumaki, aren't you? Yes, I am, said Naruto. And how do you know me, he asked. Lord Orochimaru told me about you. I heard him talking about you once. Lord Orochimaru. So you work for that snake, Naruto asked. Well, worked. Yes, Lord Orochimaru is dead. The Uchiha also talk about you as well. Uchiha? Well, I might presume that you're working for Sasuke, said Naruto. Work? Of course not. That partnership of ours is over. He got his revenge. Wait. He did? I don't know. I left before anything could happen. I was lucky enough to get away with my life from that shark fellow. You mean Kisame? I don't care what their names are. Come on, Yukimaru, let's go. We're leaving? So soon? I told you we wouldn't stay here long. We need to keep on moving. Oh, okay. Thank you again, mister. Wait. Naruto stopped her. What do you want? Look. I don't want to fight you or anything. I really don't have time for that. We should be going. After all, I doubt the Uchiha would be pleased of me running out on him like that. I couldn't allow to get myself killed. You're really gonna take him with you, Naruto asked. What? What are you talking about? Him, that boy. You just met him. What does it have to do with you? He will die, said Naruto. What? Guren got ready. I don't mean I'm gonna kill him, said Naruto. You being out on the run like that. Surely something bad will happen. The road is not a kind place. I know that. What does it have to do with you? Why would you care? Let's just say people like these don't deserve to die. For stupid reasons. Why don't you come with me? Come with you? And why the hell would I do that? You just said to yourself you ran away from Sasuke. You wanted nothing to do with him. I can see it in your face. You dragged yourself all the way out here, despite your injuries. You thought you might die, didn't you? So you dragged yourself out here to see him one more time. Am I wrong, Naruto asked. Guren said nothing. Where do you live? Asked Yukimaru. A new village, said Naruto. You want to come there? He asked. Yukimaru looked at him, before looking towards Guren. And why would you just let us in like that? You don't know us. You don't owe us anything. So tell me, why? I told you before, people like him don't deserve something like that. And as I said, you just met him. Let's just say I have this instinct on reading people. So what do you say you come back with me? You know that I was accomplice to Orochimaru, right? Why would you want to take me in as well? Aren't you afraid that I might harm your little village of yours? No, said Naruto. What do you mean? Guren felt something strange, as she then turned around to see a strange serpent leaving her body. She blinked. What was that? She asked. I had to see if you're a good character, he said. What did you do to me? I didn't even feel anything. That's the whole point, said Naruto to her. You love that boy so much, you just wanted to be safe. And you're not a bad person. You just want to be left alone. And with that crystal ability of yours, you're quite powerful, said Naruto. How did you... Naruto turned his back. Come with me, he said. It will be better off. Guren looked down at Yukimaru. Guren, he saved my life and he saved yours. Why would he do that just to harm us? I'm tired of being on the run. Can't we just go with him? Guren sighed at Yukimaru's trustworthy attitude. He was always so easy to trust people, but Guren wasn't. But this person, He just seems so calm and nice. Why? He barely even know them. That just made her more curious. Fine, we're coming, she said. But if you try anything, Don't worry, I won't, said Naruto. As they start to follow behind him. A quick detour first, he said, as he stopped in the center of the village. Spreading his senses out for a few minutes. He felt none of them. They weren't here. Alright, come along, he said, as they start to follow him. Meanwhile, at the Hidden Leaf, we have one Hinata Hyuga, who was currently thinking about the current situation. She couldn't believe what she heard, that it was Naruto the one that dropped that stone on Taki. Hinata's mindset towards him has been changing a little, even though she tried to work through it has been. The Naruto that she knew would never harm innocent people like that. She knew they can't all be evil, but to drop a meteor from the sky on them, slaughtering them all, was that really possible? Was it still him, or did something happen to him? Meanwhile, at Kumo, the Raikage receive an anonymous tip from outside source. Information that was passed towards one of his envoys. Yes, a letter about the current location of Naruto Uzumaki, a Akatsuki member. But that wasn't the only thing. The village that they fear in the past, well, not him exactly. His father and the others feared, which they had teamed up with the other villager crush. The boy was trying to bring it back. It appears some Uzumaki had survived and went in hiding, and now they were being brought back to reunite. This was bad. He knew that the boy would be coming after his head very soon for this. So why wait? Crush before you would be crushed, right? So for that very reason, he had another person to talk to. They weren't real allies, but they too were the ones that started this. They can end it. Meanwhile, the Hidden Stone, Oniki received the same thing. The same thought came to his head. They need to stop this boy before he make another move. Yes, they really do. Meanwhile, Jugo and Suigetsu was currently in a dark cave. When are we gonna see Sasuke? Asked Jugo. Soon enough, that masked guy took him and went to talk to him, said Suigetsu. We don't have to worry. Seems he has no intention to harm Sasuke. I wouldn't allow him, said Jugo. Don't go start anything yet, Jugo. At the moment, everything is calm. But Guren, she's gone. Guren was never really one of us. The first chance she got, she hightailed it out of there. Are we gonna go after her for what she did? Don't really know, said Suigetsu. Depends on what Sasuke thinks. I don't even know what he's going through his head at the moment. Everything seems so messy and out of place. Meanwhile, Sasuke was sitting down. A lot of things has changed since his brother's defeat. Information that was never there before is now revealed. Sasuke couldn't believe it. His heart was burning with pain and anger. He now knew why his brother had to wipe out the clan. It was not for him to gain more power. It was not for him to test his ability. It was because he was ordered to. He was ordered to wipe out the clan because they wanted it that way. The people in the Hidden Leaf never really liked the Uchihas. They were always being pushed back behind. They were always being the ones that were blamed. And his brother was the escape route for all of this mess. Those three elders. The third was dead, but the three elders are still alive. Danzo, Shimura, Koharu, Homura. They all deserve to pay for what they did. The entire Hidden Leaf deserved to pay for what they did. Sasuke felt his eyes burning with rage. Killing his brother awakened something inside of him. Not just his burning anger after finding out the truth from Madara, but also his rage had awakened his new set of eyes. As his Mangita Sharingan spin in the darkness, the leaf will burn for what they did. Yes, know that his mind was clear on one thing. The only thing he wanted was vengeance. Time skip. As the masked man was currently sitting down. So, you've gotten him on your side. What now? Said Black Zetsu. Well, I have to keep away from Naruto at the moment. They never had the best relationship. Not to mention, it was him leaving the village that caused this all for him to get banished. So, at the moment I'll keep him on hiatus. Things would be bad if the both of them were to meet each other at the moment. And the current rage at Sasuke's pulling off of him. And that boy always being so calm, but yet so cold at the same time. It would be bad if the both of them meet each other at the moment. How is Kisame going along? I believe by now he has interacted with the Eight Tails. We should be hearing from him soon enough. Do you think it was wise sending him alone? Asked Zetsu. Don't worry, Kisame will handle it. If he doesn't, I'll send Nagato. It is just another piece of the puzzle that need to be completed. So have you decided yet which one of them you're going after? Asked Zetsu. The masked man said nothing, but he seemed to still be pondering on the question. At the moment the world was calm, but there was a storm brewing from all angles. As we currently have two of the major leaders meeting together. One from Kumo and one from the Stone. An emergency meeting was called between the two of them. Yes, to meet up. This wasn't a Shinobi Alliance meeting or anything. Just the two leaders meeting together to talk about their incoming demise. Well, we both agree that this boy cannot be left untouched. Yes, said the Raikage. The power that he has shown so far, it is quite devastating. But it doesn't matter how strong he is, he's still one man. And anyone can die. Once you have the right amount of manpower. So, 1,000 from each. That's it. Yes, that should be enough, said the Raikage. We should end this immediately before it gets out of hand. The world is too calm, said Tishikage. And whenever it's too calm, there's always a storm afterwards. You believe this will be the storm of us crushing Uzu once again, like what happened in the past. But then they were difficult and they had to be dealt with. We can't allow this boy to start it back over again. That is why we have to get rid of him immediately. I am with you on that, said the Raikage. So get your man ready. This is a full frontal assault, no holding back. Just going right towards the target. Meanwhile at Konoha, Danzo was laughing to himself as he was all alone. Things were falling in perfect sync as he expected. As he got the word that Kumo and the Stone had moved towards each other to talk. As he smiled to himself. For one man so smart, Danzo didn't know what he was doing. Because he was about to bring up the rage that Naruto has been keeping calm for so long. And he was about to ignite it with so much repercussion behind it. But this war, these 2,000 soldiers that the Raikage and Oniki are sending towards Uzu, how would they fear against Naruto Uzumaki? Not even a calm Naruto Uzumaki, not even a stable Naruto Uzumaki. A Naruto Uzumaki who lost his cool. A Naruto Uzumaki who lost his mind to the people that once destroyed his home, want to destroy it again. And what will happen when he finds out that Danzo was behind it? It seems like it's time for him to go to Konoha once again. Yes. So stay in tune guys for the upcoming episodes because it's gonna be ending right here. I'm gonna be ending right here guys, so I hope you enjoy this and yeah, I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.